In this short video, I want to discuss the assignment that I titled "The Popular Review of Literature for 5 Sources." Now, that title is a bit off. A better title would have been a review of literature for 5 popular sources. Alright, because the word popular here means material that is addressed to a common denominator of readers that have a very basic, intelligent understanding on something, but not jargon specific or technically advanced understanding of a topic. So this would be, ideas or concepts or notions that are discussed and addressed to an audience, often a viewership or a readership that knows more or less, the main issues, but doesn't know the specific jargon or the current academic or in-depth or philosophically demanding analysis on a certain topic. All right, so think of magazines like Reader's Digest or Smithsonian or Popular Science or Popular Mechanics or Parenting Magazine. Think of all the dummy books like Calculus for Dummies or Gardening for Dummies. Think of Idiot's Guide to Genetics, the Cartoon Guide to the History of the World, whatever. Now, also a lot of audiobooks, nonfiction audiobooks are going to be popular in the sense that they're addressed to a non-professional audience, or audience that is not professional in that particular field. All right, professional in other senses to be sure, but so what I want us to understand here is, first, as you embark upon reading about a topic of your own choosing for a research paper, you need to be able to pull information from all sorts of areas and all sorts of levels, okay? And if you don't know a lot about something already, but you're interested in a notion or a concept or an idea or a question about it, you need to start at the popular level, or just with simple articles or reference entries or materials that is worded very colloquially, user-friendly, and then you build yourself up from there. So I'll admit to you, and I'm not necessarily hiding this or ashamed of it, but I get interested in a lot of things, and when I find myself being interested about something, I often will go to the children's section of a public library and get some books on it. Now, not picture books, but nonfiction books starting at the children level, the grade 3, grade 4, grade 5 level. And I'll read them very quickly, but then I'll get a notion of where to go next. And I'm just trying to find a quick way to get some of the very basic terminology down. So, I studied black holes for, I think, a year, and 9 months or whatever. And I started with some really, basic stuff. But I knew what I was doing, because you need to, when you climb up a stairway, and the top is where you want to get. Where are you on the stairway? What you need to worry about is the very next step, and if you know nothing about it, the very next step is going to be a very low and basic step. So you may need to, certainly look to some popular literature in that sense, some very basic, down-to-earth, easy-to-understand terminology, manageable reading, a lot of examples and visually oriented descriptions, a lot of analogies and metaphors to help convey the notions. That's where I would suggest we start here. And so what I'm trying to model for you is that I've picked these readings, right? They're on robots or different aspects of social machinery. And one thing I'm trying to do is to get us to expand our definition of robots. Now, this has nothing to do with our research in the sense that I am letting you pick your own topic, all right? But I'm trying to model for you how I would do some of the reading, or how I would try to work a topic myself if I were to write something. And when I designed all this, I was sort of interested in robots as far as how they play into our society right now. I collected all these readings on this topic, and we'll look at how we maybe can narrow a topic and then come up with a thesis on this. But what I wanted you to be able to do here is to say to yourself, look, there may be a time when I have to present to my audience a quick overview of 4 or 5 sources. And I've got to do it really quickly. So this is not a traditional summary that I can expand upon in 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Okay, I've got to really hit the main idea, and I've got to do it quickly. Now these are also called critical envelopes. Now, a critical envelope is when an author will sort of say, hey, time out, okay? Let me just tell you what other people are writing about this topic so you understand where I'm coming from. And then the author of the current paper or article will list for you 4, 5, 6, 7 sources and try to explain quickly what these sources have said, what they were trying to do. And the current author may do it in a paragraph, may do it in 2 paragraphs, may even label it a review of literature. Okay? And its purpose is twofold. Its purpose is to convince you, the current author's reader, that the current author has done his work or her work and has looked at the material and has done all that reading. So the author is trying to build up her own credentials by sort of giving you all this list of other material she's examined. All right. The other thing it's doing is it's giving you, the reader, material to follow up on if you're interested in that topic. So, you know, it's a courtesy by authors. It's also a way for them to build up their own platform, eventually to say, look, you know, I've told you what other people are saying about this, and here's what I'm saying, and here's how you can see it. Now you can see that what I'm saying is in fact original to me because I'm not just parroting what other people are saying. So a review of literature is very important that way. And again, it could be a paragraph, it could be a couple pages, depending on the length of the work. So what I wanted to do with this assignment is just give you some really easy to grasp material of varying lengths about a topic, and to tell you, you know, you'll need to come up with this main idea in maybe 1 or 2 sentences. You'll need to be able to clump them together in a paragraph, and then, you know, this particular assignment is very formulaic, isn't it? I'm saying basically start off with a sentence that touches on the common notion that you can see all 5 articles are sort of, you know, affirming. So that would be like the first sentence. And then let's have a transitional sentence as the second sentence. And the transitional sentence I provided you was, some articles of popular culture support this notion. Now notice I said this notion because I wanted you to just come up with one you know, common theme or common claim that those articles were making. So you have to find a connection here. And then after you would have that second sentence, you would go on to just summarize. And something like in Article 1, in this article, and give the name of the article, this author says that, and just give me the main point. Then, so let's just say that's like the second, the third and fourth sentences. And then right after that, another article, and give me the name of the article, said that by this author said this, and just summarize quickly. So a review of literature often does take a bam, 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 you know, sense to it. It can be very quickly done. That was the heart behind this assignment, because I want you to be able to say to yourself, hey, you know, I'm writing this paper for this class or that class, and I might need to present to the reader up front at the beginning of the paper two paragraphs or a half page of a review of literature. I know how to do that more or less because of, you know, the assignment we just did. Now I will have to say that this is why I wish I had named the title a little differently, right? Because you know, it's not a popular review of literature. It's a review of literature over popular sources. And of course you can have academic sources. And we're going to soon really try to tease out the difference between popular sources and academic sources. But I wanted to start off sort of easy so that we could not be intimidated by the content of the assignment, in order to be able to quickly grasp, you know, the concept. So that was the purpose, the heart behind this assignment. Now what I would like you to do next, if you are still sort of confused about this, is take a look at some work that students have done that more or less hit it right on the head, what I was looking for. Now, by the way, this is something I said at the beginning, but I do, use student work that comes in for examples like these, and I will always treat them respectfully, and I will always make sure they're anonymous to the viewers. However, if you just want to tell me, hey, please don't consider my work as open to that, just send me an email saying, please, I would rather you not ever use my work, even if it's a perfect example. And that's fine. That's fine. I find most students don't really care, and they appreciate those of you that let me use this, because sometimes I'll run across something you send in, and it's like, man, this is a perfect illustration of a common mistake that half the class is making. And it just really helps me to be able to use that work. Or I find something that's like, this is simple, it's direct, it's clear, it's right on the money. I want the class to see this as what I was looking for. So that does help me. And if you ever feel like you don't want that, you don't even want me to consider that, then just send me an email saying put my work off limits, and I'll respect that. But what you can do for this assignment now is take a look at some of this material. I have it posted as a Word document. It's just open it up and see what it says, and take a look at how some people have done this. And if you need to resubmit, I've got no problems with that.